A spring balance is an instrument consisting of a hook attached to the end of a spring. So as you can see inside of the video, there's a hook attached to the end of the spring, and it's used for weighing objects, right? It works using the principle of Hooke's law, which states that the force needed to extend a spring is proportional to the distance that spring is extended from its rest position. So as you look at the spring balance, you can see the hook at the bottom there. You can see that there is some numbers at the sides, at the top there at the sides, right? There's a black thing in the middle, and there's at the sides here there's some numbers there, and it's used for measuring, right? Spring balance could also be used to measure the weight of an object. So right there on the hook at the bottom, if you want to measure chicken, let's say you want to measure some chickens, right? And you put some chicken in a bag, and you put the bag and you hook it on that scale, you're gonna see that the black thing in the middle there would start going down, and then it will point and go down at some numbers. When it goes down at some numbers, now you'll be able to tell the weight that the chicken in the bag is carrying. Likewise, if you want to measure some rice or some potatoes, you put it in a bag and then you put it on the hook, and then you'll be able to see the various measurements there. Now, the next object I would like to speak to you about is the pinhole camera. A pinhole camera is a simple camera without lens, but with a tiny aperture, effectively a light-proof box with a small hole in one side. Light from a scene passes through the aperture and projects an inverted image on the opposite side of the box. The images formed by the pinhole camera on the screen is real and inverted. The image is generally smaller than the size of the object. Some important characteristics of the pinhole camera are: the pinhole camera opening time depends by the three factors: environmental light, film sensitivity, and the ratio stop typical of the camera. The earliest record of the pinhole camera is the 5th century in BC.
Hello, my name is Miss Ashmini, and I would like to welcome you to my science booth, where I have created some improvised equipment for their specific purposes, which I'll tell you in a minute whilst I show you the materials that I've used to create these improvised instruments. So here we have the windsock, the measuring cylinder, and the model of the flower. Now, what is a windsock? A windsock is a conical or cylindrical fabric tube that is hung from a pole or other structure that can be used to indicate the wind direction and the speed of the wind. The windsocks are commonly used at airports. Now, we already know that the windsock is made from fabric, but here, as you can see, my windsock, my improvised version, is made from a plastic bag attached to a cardboard, which is attached to a pencil and another cardboard. Now, what are measuring cylinders? Measuring cylinders are important tools because why? They accurately measure and dispense small volumes of liquid. They also measure liquids in labs or in classrooms. And normally measuring cylinders are made from glass or plastic. But here, my improvised version is a plastic jar. So here we have the improvised model of the flower, and we know that angiosperms have reproductive structures called flowers. So the reproductive organ of the flowering plant is the flower, and here by using this model we can see the different parts of the flower. For my improvised model of the flower, I use foam paper, cardboard, and glue. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you have gathered adequate information from this video. Welcome to the Science Booth, where you will learn about three main important objects and the importance of these materials. First, we have the aquarium. And so the aquarium, a transparent tank of water in which live fish and other water creatures and plants are kept. As you can see there, I have the aquarium. There it have the fishes inside, it have shells, we have some stones inside with the water, including the sand in the water there. Well, the materials that the aquarium was made with, we use glass, transparent glasses, so you can see through. The glass will cut into equal parts for the same parts for the two sides and same parts for the back and the front of the aquarium. Secondly, we also use glue to paste the glasses together and to make them old. This take like two days for the glue to actually dry properly for the glass to be kept. When it was finished, that's when the sand was placed inside. Then we place the shells, the stones, or you can say the pebbles, also along with the fish and the water. So this is the aquarium, and this is how it's made. We can learn a lot of things about aquarium, which is basically an aquarium is a variety of any size having at least one transparent side in which aquatic plants or animals are kept and displayed. So basically stuff that are kept in here are, for example, we have fish, invertebrates, which are like amphibians, aquatic reptiles such as turtles, and there are many more that you can find out about the aquarium. Secondly, we have the heart. Many people might know what is the heart, but also there are some details that we need to take into consideration when learning about the heart. So they say your heart is roughly the size of a fist and sits in the middle of your chest. Slightly to the left, it's the muscle at the center of your circulation system, pumping blood around your body as your heart beats. Many people, why? First of all, let us ask ourselves, why is the heart important? I would say the heart is a vital organ. It is a muscle that pumps blood to all parts of the body. The blood the blood pumped by the heart provides the body with oxygen and nutrients to function properly. So there we have the heart, and there are many parts of the heart. We have the aorta, we have the left atrium, the left ventricle, the right ventricle, and the right aorta. There you can see we have the lungs shown in the diagram there. Thirdly, we are moving on to the wind vein. Wind vein. As you can see here, there are many materials used to make the wind vein. I use cardboard, straw, even to book cover with cork and some tape to hold it across. As you can see there, I am showing the directions of east, west, north, and south, and there is my arrow pointing into the direction. So the wind vein is the natural movement of air or other gases relative to a planet's surface. When occur on a range of scale from the thunderstorm flows lasting tens of minutes to local breeze generated. So basically the wind vein is helped to say which part or where the wind is coming from, and you can read this, and people use this as a form of direction to get them somewhere if they're traveling somewhere. So this is my science booth where we learn about new things. As I said, the aquarium, the heart, and the wind vein. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Abishola Smith, and today I will walk you through my science booth, which consists of the insect bottle, the thermometer, and the solar system. First, I'll start with the solar system. Our solar system consists of the sun and 8 planets which orbits around the sun. The planets are divided into 2 categories. You have the terrestrial planets, which is the inner planets, which consists of Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. And the outer planet, which is the Jovian planet, consists of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So our solar system consists of planets, as you can see. Planets, it consists of moons, asteroids, that is a flat surface or that the planets orbit around. You also have dust, gas, and all of that orbits around the star, which is the sun, being the largest ball in the solar system. Venus, within the inner planet, you have Venus being the hottest planet in the solar system, and you have Earth, which is close to Venus, but Earth consists of water and life, right? And that is where we live on Earth. The outer planet, you have Jupiter and Saturn being the gas planet, and Uranus and Neptune being the coldest planet in the solar system, Neptune being the farthest planet away from the sun. We have brochures in which you can read to get more information about the solar system. Moving on to our thermometer. So here we have the thermometer. The thermometer is an instrument that is used to measure temperature. It can be temperature outside or inside of our house, temperature in our oven, body temperature to know if we're sick. It measures the temperature of air, right? Gas. So here is a model of the thermometer in which I've made. There are different types of thermometer. This is a homemade thermometer, or you can call it a glass bulb thermometer. So with this thermometer, you can measure the temperature of liquid. For example, I have a glass of hot water here, and when we place the thermometer into the water, you can see that the liquid in the thermometer, in the straw, rise. That is to show that the heat, whenever heat is added to the thermometer, or whenever you add heat to the thermometer, the liquid in the thermometer rise. And if you take the thermometer out of the heat, right, and you leave it here to cool, or you put it in a glass of cold water, the heat level would drop. So we know that water boils at 100 degrees Celsius and water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So on the measurement of the thermometer, you have Fahrenheit and Celsius. You have F for Fahrenheit and C for Celsius. So with this thermometer, we can measure the temperature around us. The next object we have is the insect bottle. This is also known as the killing jar, since it's a piece of equipment in which you can use to collect insects, right? So what a collector does is that the collector collects the insect that they find in the field and they dispatch it into the insect bottle. So making the insect bottle is very easy. All you need to have is a glass jar with tight lid, right? Wide mouth bottle preferably, that you can place the insect in. So we can either preserve the insect dry or in ethanol, depending on the order in which you are looking at. For example, I have the ladybug here. This is dry, preserved dry, right? It's instead of ethanol. And we know that insects are cold-blooded animal, right? They're invertebrates. Those are animals without backbone. So making the insect bottle is an ideal way to observe and discover and learn about insects. So the insect bottle can either be found in labs or in schools or at home once you are a collector of insects and you would like to learn about insects. Okay, so for more information about the insect bottle, here we have a brochure about the insect bottle and the insect, which is the ladybug. Just a little insight. Ladybug, also known as the ladybird beetle, are small insects that may be eaten.
Hi, welcome to our science improvisation booth, or welcome to our science booth. So here we have models being displayed of 3 items. We have the tripod stand, the test tube holder, and the model of an eye. Good, so the tripod stand, a laboratory tripod stand is a portable 3-leg stand or frame that is used to support flasks or beakers when we are doing experiment in a science lab. Now the original tripod stand is made out of aluminum or steel, whereby the improvised tripod stand here has been made out of foam, wire, and masking tape.
True.
Good, so we have the test tube holder now. A test tube holder is an equipment or device with finger grips. Its basic role or function is to hold test tubes when they are hot or when they are untouchable. Test tube holder, we know they're normally made out of wire or steel. The improvised test tube holder here has been made out of binding wire and masking tape. So the model of an eye here now, the eye, it is a sensory organ. It collects lights from the visible world around us, then converts it into impulses. The optic nerve then transmits these signals to the brains, which then provide sight for us to see. The improvised model of the eye was made out of bottle, glue, foam, and masking tape, as well as paint.
True.
So the eye, it is a very important organ in our body, so therefore we should take good care of it. So this here is the improvised tripod stand. This is the brochure. Then we have the improvised test tube holder, and here is the brochure for the test tube holder. The improvised model of the eye. Here is the brochure for the improvised eye.
Hello, my name is Sean Sambach, and welcome to my corner of the science booth, where I'll provide you with what improvised items I created and what they're used for. I'll also give a feedback on the materials used to create the said equipments. First, we'll go into the kaleidoscope. Now, can anyone tell me what a kaleidoscope is? A kaleidoscope is a toy or equipment consisting of tubes containing mirrors and pieces of colored glass or paper, whose reflections produce patterns when the tube is rotated. It is mainly used to create beautiful and fascinating patterns for pleasure. They may also be used in illumination systems or an efficient way to create uniform light distribution for laptop screens. The kaleidoscope was made using aluminum foil as the reflective paper, old puncty roll, pieces of cardboard, and glue stick. Also colored beads used for the patterns. And for the final item, which is the beam balance. Now, a beam balance or beam scale is a device used for measuring the weight of something by putting it into a small dish that hangs from one end of a straight bar and balancing it with weight at the other end. It's mostly used for calibrating masses in the range of 10 milligram to 1 kg. The measuring resolution and accuracy achieved depends on the quality and sharpness of the knife edge that the pivot is formed from. Now, for my improvised version, well, the items that were used were cardboard, string, uh, glue, and nail. Now, the items used to create my improvised version of the beam balance would consist of cardboard, gift paper, string, and one piece of nail.